Today it is so easy to shop on the internet. You can just sit down at 11 o'clock in your jammies and order almost anything you want in the world. Except the one thing that's missing is the experience. Hi, I'm Emmy Havis, and welcome to Meet the Merchants. You know, downtown Summit is the perfect place to get that experience. We have wonderful downtown stores, restaurants, spas that you can just come to town and spend the day or just the afternoon. And the wonderful thing about these stores is many of them are run and owned by the same people. So when you go into a store, you're dealing with the person who has a vested interest in making you a happy customer. And having said that, why don't you grab your pocketbook and join me as we meet the merchants. I'm here this morning with Bob Carroll at John Hiatt, this wonderful men's store we have in Summit. And as I was just mentioning, this is part of the experience, to be able to walk in here and see these beautiful displays, the beautiful merchandise, and this very handsome Bob Carroll to wait on you. Good morning, Bob. How are you?
Good morning, Emmy. Thanks for coming in.
My pleasure. So how long have you been doing this?
We opened the store in 2002. 13 years, going on 13 years. I opened the store largely as a result of unfortunately, 9/11. I was working in the city at the time, and I lost some very good friends, including one of my best friends. And I decided this is really what I wanted to do. I wanted to have a men's clothing store. I've always wanted to have a men's clothing store since I probably was a kid. I worked most of my career in retail and wholesale, and this was sort of the end result of many years of working on kind of both sides of the table, as they say.
You know, it's funny, when I talk to people around town, that's a lot of the story. It was the same thing with me. You know, even from a kid, always wanted to have my own business, just didn't quite know what it would be, and then here you are.
Right.
Here you are. So, why Summit? Why did you pick Summit?
You know, I think there's very few towns in New Jersey that can really support a store like mine and like yours. You think of Ridgewood, you think of Princeton,
right.
You think of maybe Bernardsville, and Summit is, it's the hub. We've got the train here. Frankly, very, it's a wealthy town. It can support a store like this, and it was really kind of Summit or nothing for me.
Yeah. You know, we kind of felt the same way. We looked at those other towns, but what we found about Summit was it had very good supporting towns around it. So it really was able, and it was a stable town. It was one of those old-fashioned shopping towns like you grew up with. So
Absolutely.
That's why.
Absolutely.
Well, the place is beautiful. I've always loved it. You know, when we lost Roots in town, it was a big crusher, and then you came through the door and redid it all over again, but with a twist. What are your main lines here, Bob?
Okay, so really, Peter Millar is my lead brand. Peter Millar is a North Carolina-based company that started as a golf-only brand in, I think, about 99 or 2000. And they started to develop into what they would now call a lifestyle brand. And I have what's known as a crown shop. And what a crown shop is in your store. There's only about 12 of us, I think, in the country right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. A crown shop is, a crown being their logo. A crown shop is a designated area of your store. It's usually about 300 square feet. This is about 350 square feet. And you do, signage. The fixtures look a certain way. These fixtures are actually owned by Peter Millar. They're kind of on loan to me, if you will. And then you have some sort of signage out front. I have an awning.
Yeah, the awning's terrific. I saw it coming down the street. It looks really good.
That came out great. Peter Millar is certainly my lead brand. Seasonally, Barber, which is a British brand, which is over in the wall there. I have, actually, it's my one nod to women's clothing. Over there I have the Barber women's clothes. But it's really only the only thing I do for women. A few brands that have really been up-and-comers, Southern Tide, which is another Southern brand, which has been great for me. There's a brand, I currently don't have anything on the floor, but it's coming in soon, called Johnny O, which is actually a West Coast brand, which has been doing very well.
So you're all over the country.
All over the country.
That's good.
And then probably one of my most popular brands, which most people know, is our Smathers and Branson. It's the needlepoint belts.
Yeah.
And
they're fabulous.
Terrific. Yeah, absolutely. We've been selling those since those guys went into business. 0304, started by two young college kids, or right out of college, and
Amazing.
yeah, just I know one of those. I wish I had thought of that.
Yeah,
things.
that's right.
But they're great, hand needle pointed, and just really fun. The belts, there's wallets, hats.
Yeah, they do a great job.
They really do.
So most of what I'm looking at around here is casual wear versus suits and ties, or even I see a sports jacket here. So, you know, I also notice out on the street, it is really unusual to see a man in a suit walking around town.
I agree.
What are the trends you're seeing? I mean, I know we've got Dress Down Friday or whatever day of the week it is now, but
I think it's,
what do you see as the trends?
I think it's casual every day now, and that has worked well for me. I made a conscious decision when I opened the store to not do suits and sport coats per se. I've always hung a navy blazer here at the store because I think that's the sort of thing that sort of goes with everything. But I think that blazer with jeans and a nice shirt, or a blazer with nice trousers, and certainly a nice shirt, maybe a tie, is about as dressy as most guys get. You know, unfortunately, I think it's weddings and funerals for most guys now, suit-wise.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So I think the trend is a nice, you know, pop color shirt, maybe a pocket square, which I always advocate, and then, you know, a great pair, like I said, either trousers, jeans. You know, make sure your shoes are polished and looking good. So
So do you do much tailoring when you're doing casual, or is that kind of by the boards too?
well, we don't have a tailor here on the premises. We do use a tailor in Summit. But yeah, you know, the best things for me are kind of cash and carry, if you will. You know, pick it up and wear it out, or wear it that evening. So we're sort of moving more towards that, you know, finished inseam links on the pants, and things you can just sort of wear or buy and
do
then
right
wear that.
away.
Yeah.
So it looks like, from what I'm looking around here, you can go from shirt to pants to socks to belts to wallets
We pretty much
to the whole
have
thing.
everything.
Yeah,
soup to nuts.
short-
I've even got boxer
yeah.
shorts. I do one shoe from Peter Millar.
Aha.
It's over there, so I've even
Nice.
got that covered. But yeah, no, it really is head to toe, smart casual, if you will.
Yeah.
My initial tagline for the store when I opened was, you know, preppy with a twist, or you know, preppy traditional with a little bit of a color influence. So yeah, that's really our look.
Yeah, it's great. And I know that you do get involved in town with some of the charities and things around town, so you're an active member in that respect also,
Yeah.
which
I try to be.
is great for the town. You
Yeah.
know, we have a lot of people like that, and I think that makes us fortunate being in a place like this.
Absolutely.
And coming into stores and meeting the person who buys and owns and whose livelihood depends on it makes it such a different experience.
I agree.
So, well, thank you. Well, before we go, though,
Sure.
let me just say, website?
Yes, it would be www.johnhyattclothing.com.
Address?
334 Springfield Avenue.
Telephone number? I feel like this is an interrogation.
908-522-8790.
One last question. Where did the name John Hiatt come from?
Great question. Most people ask me, because my name is Bob Carroll, why is your store John Hiatt? John Hiatt Carroll was my father's full name. Hiatt was his middle name, and as a tribute to my dad, who passed away in '97, I thought I would name the store after him.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. So you don't get upset when people call you John like I
Not
do
at
every
all.
once in
I
a while.
just, it happens. It's part of the deal, and it's fine.
Thank you so much. It was great being here with
My
you.
pleasure. Thanks, Amy.
You're welcome. Here we are at the Beauty Lounge with my friend Eileen Gannon, and this is one of my most favorite stores in Summit. It's not only beautiful inside, and she has such an eye for beautiful product, but she's such a great person too. I love her. So tell me, how long has this beautiful shop been here?
I've been here in October 9 years.
Oh my gosh, that long.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, it really has evolved. You've really grown it into something kind of different than where you started.
It's changed quite a bit since when I've started. We've expanded the business, it's doubled
Right,
the size.
right.
But we've really tailored it to what the clientele here is interested in.
Is
and-
looking for.
Yeah.
Smart business move, madam. Absolutely. So I'm looking at this jewelry here and the piece that I have on, which I probably will buy before I walk out of here. It's very different. I don't see this every place. In fact, to tell you the truth, I was just at the accessory show and I didn't see anything like this at the accessory show. Tell me a little bit where it comes from and who you deal with.
I work really hard at trying to find unique jewelry for my clientele, stuff that you can't find just anywhere. And I really try to focus on local independent designers.
Great.
So that my customers can meet them. We can do trunk shows. They
Great.
can get custom pieces done if that's what they're interested in.
Great. Do you do those trunk shows often?
We do.
Do you?
Yeah, we do.
And how do you get the word out there? Can they go to your website and find out?
Go
Or
to my website. I send out an email blast. We use social media quite a bit.
quite a bit. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
I know. I get,
Yeah.
I get it. I see you on
love it,
Facebook all the time. I know they're such good posts, really.
Thanks.
So, in particular, tell me about this jeweler.
Okay, so this is Pamela Bloom. She does very unique pieces. She is a local. She's from Maplewood,
wow.
so
Local.
she's very local. She comes in quite a bit. We do trunk shows with her, very often. I'd say 4 times a year with new collections that she comes out with. We do a lot of custom work.
That's important, custom work.
Yeah.
I'm sure people have an idea for something.
They do, or something needs to be specific. We can size anything for anyone. We can change a stone if it's something that
Yeah,
they want.
great.
So it's wonderful, and they get to meet her, which is great.
That is always nice to know where it came from and meet the artist too.
absolutely.
You know, this look is so big now, but this is so beautifully done with the back instead of it just being in a bezel.
Yep.
Very, very pretty. So who else are some of your jewelers here?
So I also work with 2 local wonderful women. Their company's called Do Ami, and they're Short
Good name.
Hills.
Good name.
Yeah, they're based in Short Hills, and again, I get they have a lot of high-end fine jewelry and some costume jewelry, and we do some trunk shows with them, and they also can do some custom work.
Gold, silver, both?
Gold, silver, diamond, sapphires. Yeah.
So you really are talking fine jewelry.
Yeah, but they do
Yeah.
some costume as well, so
Yeah.
it's very, very eclectic and
That's
wide.
nice. So you can mix the two to help your customer out with what they're looking for. Great idea.
Yeah.
Great idea. So tell me a little bit about all your other products.
So I try to keep it very different from anything that anyone else will have. So I try to just find things that you don't find in a department store or in a Sephora. And mostly I find them on my travels. If I'm going someplace really interesting and cool and I find a product that I
Yeah.
love, then it's something that I want to have here and introduce my clientele to.
I think that's the hardest part about owning a small boutique shop like this is to keep it fresh, relevant, new, and I find my sister and I do that when we travel. We find something that we like, we're always turning things over, trying to find a label.
Absolutely.
Or if we're far enough away, we'll ask
Yeah,
what it is.
absolutely.
And you can find out very quickly whether they have anybody around here carrying the product.
That's right.
But beyond product, you do other things here that are very
We
interesting.
do some very exciting things. So we bring in some stylists, from very elite celebrity stylists from New York, twice a week for hair and eyebrows, because that's my background.
Oh, I was going to ask you that. We'll talk about that.
Yes. So I have some wonderful people. They come in for hair styling and color and eyebrow sculpting, and that's become a very big part of our
Wow,
business.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's terrific.
Yeah.
So what did you do before this that got you to here?
So I worked for 13 years for Frederick Fekkai in New York, and that's how I really trained in the caliber of stylists that I worked with there, and kept in contact with a lot of them, and am extremely fortunate that they will come
Yes.
out to us in
Yes.
Summit.
Come all the way out here to
And
New
our
Jersey.
clientele doesn't have to go into the city
Yeah.
to see those people.
Yeah.
So it's been really a wonderful part of Beauty Lounge.
So do they have to book an appointment ahead? Do you alert them to when people are coming in, or do they come in on a regular basis?
They come in on a regular basis. I do, again, I use social media to let people know when they're here. They're not here all the time. So people generally try to get an appointment with them when they're here, or they'll call me. It's always been word of mouth for those people. And it's been,
And see how successful that is.
It's been
just by word of
successful,
mouth.
yeah.
So today the whole theme of this show is experience, and the experience that you get in shopping in Summit. So what do you think if you could just say it in a couple sentences or whatever, what the experience you try to give people as they come through the door?
well, that's really important to me. It's not, I
Yes.
don't want to just be a store if somebody
Yes.
buys something. It is
Yes.
about the experience when you come in. So this is my home away from my home, so I want it always to be warm and welcoming. We play good music. I want people to feel a certain way when they come through the door. I want them to trust me and to be their personal shopper if they have questions about things. Even if people are just walking through just to say hi, I really want it to be like a family kind of environment.
Right.
And that is really, I feel like, what it has grown to. My clients, I consider, so many of them have become good friends and like family to me.
It's amazing, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah, it is. It's
Yeah.
amazing. And I think that's what makes this town unique. People like you who feel that way about their business and about their customers. As I was saying, you can go online and buy a lot of things, but you can't come in and get Eileen.
Right.
You can't get to know her, see her on Facebook, and develop a relationship and know that when you come in and you want a special piece of jewelry, she can do it for you.
Yeah.
And that's the Summit experience in
It
my book.
is.
Yeah,
It
and
is.
you are very good at it, by
Thank
the
you.
way.
Thank you.
You're
So are
welcome.
you.
Thank you. So, website?
Beautylounge.com.
Good.
And it'll talk about all the products that we have. It'll talk about when people are here for services.
Good. Yeah.
We update it all the time for anything that we have new in the store, which is often. We're always getting new things. About every couple of weeks, there's new things, and we're changing things up.
Great. And you're here on Maple Street. What's your address?
31 Maple Street.
And what are your hours? When are you open?
We are 9 to 5 on Mondays, 10 to 6 the other days, and we just opened on Sundays, which is new for us.
How's that going for you?
12 to 4. We just opened this past Sunday.
Okay, so
yeah.
you really don't have a track record.
Yeah.
But this is a good quarter to do it. I
Yeah.
think more and more people will be out, and farmers market is still going on.
Yeah, I'm
and-
actually really excited
yeah,
about it.
Good,
Yeah.
good. Thank you so much,
Thank you so
Eileen.
much,
You're
Emmy.
terrific,
Thank you. So are
and we hope you keep on going in the direction you're going.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We're so lucky to be here this morning with Suzie Kelly, the newest addition to Downtown Summit. She has just opened the Charleston Shoe Company, and here is the neat little part about it. This is a little treasure find up here on the second floor of the Bassett Building, and we'll get to her address and everything later. But this is a wonderful concept and a wonderful shoe, and I'm just so excited for you to meet her. Thanks for being here, Suzie.
Thank you, Emmy, very, very much. It's a treat for me.
You're welcome.
I'm excited to bring Charleston Shoe to Summit.
Yeah.
You can go to their website. It's an existing company. It's been in business since just about 2009. There are 7 stores, Nantucket, Florida, and this is our first venture into a non-resort type community.
Right.
Neely Powell, the owner of the company and designer, is known for her comfort, quality, cobblestones to cocktail. That's her.
That's her motto. It's very good. Very good. Yeah.
Started out, her sandals are her signature shoe, but over the years has ventured into more closed-toed boot cocktail shoes. So there really is something for everybody.
Wide range. Colors, styles, designs. As I look around here, a lot going on. Going on.
And she started carrying a brand called Flex, which is made in Mexico. The U.S. rep lives in Charleston, and Flex owns their own factory. So same business model as Charleston Shoe, controlled from production to distribution. And again, rubber heels, which are super, super comfy. Keep your feet happy all day.
Yeah, and that's what we need, right? Especially the older we get. At least that's how I feel. I'm not saying you're old.
Me too, believe me.
So, what got you into doing this? What did you do before this?
Well, I was a CPA for many years and then worked part-time as our sons were growing up, raising a family. I was in Vero Beach and went shopping in a area of stores which I always go to and came upon the Charleston Shoe Company, which had just opened in Vero. Yeah. And some lifestyle changes, life changes for me, and kind of looking for a new adventure, and thought, you know what, there's no shoe store in Summit other than the walking and the running shoe stores. I bought 2 pairs of the Charleston shoes and didn't want to take them off my feet, was planning my clothes around the shoes. And
So it was definitely your eureka moment down there.
it was just kind of a lot of things that, you know, came together. So, and Neely Powell, the owner of the company, was excited and willing to work with me.
So you approached her with the idea of opening
did.
here.
I
Good
did.
for you.
I did. I've lived in this area for 20 years. I like to think of myself as a loyal Summit shopper, and have had beautiful examples from people like you and Silver Linings and lots of stores. So there was a lot of examples that had been I'd been part of over the years that said, this is the place to try. So.
Well, see, that answers what my usual question is to you, why Summit? But I agree with you. This is exactly where you should be. Now, you are on the second floor of the Bassett building, and this is kind of a unique place to start out. So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, Lululemon also started in this building
They did.
on the 5th floor in the back.
That's right.
And I was trying to be cautious because it's a new business, and walked into the space. There is a great window that overlooks Springfield Avenue. So I felt that I still had some street presence if I do the right thing in the window. And I think, not that Charleston Shoe is the same thing as Lululemon, but it was a pretty good kind of like, don't be afraid.
It was a good model for you.
Sure was.
And they did. It was amazing, the business they did, and I am sure you will do exactly the same thing here as soon as we get people up here to see you. And it's not a big deal. It's one little elevator ride, one floor. Now, tell me specifically about some of these shoes we have here, because I think you've laid out here a pretty good example of what the shoes are like.
Well, I want to show you my feet first.
Okay.
Because I have on 2 different shoes, same fabric, 2 very different heels. So what Neely Powell has done is she finds signature fabrics each year and then works them into different heels and styles, so that if somebody has a foot issue but they love the silver, there's a chance for them to get that silver shoe in a heel and a configuration of the elastic that will work
That's
for
good for
them.
them.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I love this
here's
shoe.
a classic. It's a black croc type elastic. What this does is it stretches, but it doesn't stretch out of shape. It will hug your foot
part.
every time you put it on.
And in the back here, you have that also.
And you have the little bit of support, and again, a pretty heel that's made of rubber that will keep your foot happy for walking. And again, another example of a little more
evening.
elegant. This shoe comes in sparkly fabrics, cute fabrics for the day, all kinds of combinations.
I think that's perfect for a wedding where you want to dance and stuff.
And then here's another one. Again, the same black croc type fabric, but with a ruffle on the front. Now this shoe doesn't have as much give. So somebody who maybe needs a little help because of a bunion or an arch issue could still have that elegant look, but with the comfort.
And they are comfortable, amazingly comfortable.
are.
Now,
And then for fall, we have
is that a flex?
these are flex, yes. This is a flex flat, and then these are also flex wedges with a suede upper, but a good solid rubber heel, so that as our weather does what it wants to do, you don't have to worry about damaging the shoe, and great tread.
The tread is great. I mean,
So
you could
the
wear this
slipping-
out on the snowy streets
Correct.
and not worry about taking a tumble.
Correct.
And they're smart looking.
They are.
You know, it's not some big clunky.
Tights, slacks, and then
Love this.
this, and we'll show you as we go through the show, but classic boot has a great tread. This fabric, there's I think 6 or 7 colors. There's also about 5 or 6 different heel combinations. So if you love the gray, but you're afraid of a higher heel, we can probably find you this boot in a lower heel. So there's lots of options for all kinds of people.
Somewhat semi custom in a way.
Correct. Now, Neely has a great warehouse, so if I don't have your color heel combination, there's a pretty good chance that it would be in the warehouse, and we can ship it right here to the store, no charge. Charleston Shoe also does custom. So if you want to get creative, sometimes it's 3 to 4 weeks, sometimes it's 6 to 8 weeks. But if you have an occasion coming up or you're thinking ahead, the spring line will be out in about 3 weeks. I'll have the spring catalog. So come on in and look, and we'll put some orders in if people have some special
That's
requests.
fabulous in this day and age. If you come in here, you buy a pair, and you just fall in love with them, that you have that opportunity to do that. Because I think shoes are difficult. I think it's difficult to find shoes that look good and feel good.
And I think you can see, based upon the example of my feet, that you really can take one fabric and make it look so different. And it works in so many different ways.
Right. So tell me what your hours are.
We're open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 5, but I am very flexible at special requests. That's how we're going to start. Probably as time goes on, stay open maybe one evening in the week, but call me, leave a message. I'm happy to work with anybody.
That's a good way to start out, to get you out there and get the shoes out there. So do you have a website?
Not yet. But if you go to charlestonshoeco.com, you will see all the styles.
Okay.
You will see this store listed as a location on the website. We're in the process of building our own Facebook page. Charleston Shoe Co. has a Facebook page, so you can go through their Facebook page and see all the styles. So yes, there is a presence. You can shop online and then come in and choose what you'd like.
Very good idea. So you're at 382 Springfield Avenue on the second floor. Get in the elevator, come to the second floor,
Or walk the steps.
or walk the steps, even better, and make a right-hand turn, and you're straight ahead. Great. All the best to you. I know you're going to be a roaring success, and I'm so glad we caught you on your first day open.
Me too,
So
Amy. Thank you, dear.
you're
so
very
much.
welcome.
All the best to you also.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So that's our show for today. I'm so glad you could be with us and meet some of my friends here in downtown Summit. Well, now that you've met them, why don't you come on down and introduce yourself and tell them that you saw them on Hometown TV's Meet the Merchants.